Cavecast, the uncensored show for nerds of all kinds.
So for anyone that knows us, it is just a guaranteed thing that they know that A Christmas Story is probably not one of our, just favorite Christmas movies, but I think it's one of my favorite movies in general. Just with everything, because it only shows up for once a year, but we basically I think we've experienced it more than, hundreds of times.
Oh, without a doubt, man.
Just with, with the 24 hours of A Christmas Story and it just being constantly on, and that's something that I was very used to as a kid. That's something that always, I could guarantee you that at 5 or 6 o'clock on Christmas Eve, that it's going to start. It'll be on TNT or it'll be on USA or ABC Family or whatever channel it has.
Or all of them.
And just, man, it's such a comforting thing for me. And I know that this is probably not everybody's favorite movie, but it's something that is it's just awesome in every single way, especially its sequel. So if you guys are watching this, just know we are going to spoil the crap out of Christmas Story Christmas, because that's going to come into play near the end with stuff that we're going to talk about. So if you don't want that spoiled for you, don't watch this. But if you've already seen it, or if you don't care about spoilers, I think this is still a fun conversation, and this is something that is going to be it's going to be awesome to share with our audience, because, as much as we talked in the last episode that, you're not exactly the biggest fan of Christmas, with everything, this is undeniable. This is just an awesome thing. It's just incredible.
So it's actually one of the, I was thinking about it after watching it last night. So guys, we rewatched it, even though we know it, and we're going to watch it again on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. But we watched it again last night to just kind of refresher, if you will. Mm-hmm. And what was weird to me, there was no commercials.
Yeah, that was a very strange thing. Yeah.
So it's one of those weird movies that is okay for me when there's commercials involved. That's how we never really owned it per se. I think we did later on in our life at the house. But as far as being a kid, growing up in the house, it was always just on one of the TVs. Mm-hmm. We didn't have VCRs and DVD players when those finally came around and stuff in every single room, but we had them in the 2 main rooms or the 1 main room.
Yeah.
But so it's odd to not see it break at the spots that I know it's going to break.
Yeah.
It just went right through that motherfucker last night. I was like, oh shit. I don't got time to get up and go get the popcorn. I don't got time to take a leak. It's not hurry up, it's coming back on.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We're about to see the Scott Farkus incident or whatever.
Yeah. Scott Farkus. What a rotten name. But anyways,
this is the one thing, guys, to understand is that this is probably going to happen a lot tonight. We're going to be quoting things. So again, when you've watched, the 24 hours of A Christmas Story for 10 years, it kind of stays with you.
Right.
So just be prepared. This is going to be a wild ride of probably great proportions of quoting, or it'll be a normal conversation. Either way, there's something here
that is our normal conversation. Not just but the movie quotes. But no, what I was getting at is just the fact of it's odd to see it actually as a movie itself and not with the commercials, because I haven't seen it like that in a while.
Yeah.
Because I've been at other people's places or whatever, and it is just kind of on, because guys, we haven't had cable in however long.
No.
So having it go, it was odd last night, but nonetheless, it's one of those movies where it's okay even if it has the commercials, because you're not missing anything.
I think there's also something interesting too about the fact that it was allowed to be on TV with no editing, because there is the quote unquote profanity in it. I think son of a bitch is in there, or there's
but they still allowed it.
Yeah.
They still allowed it, because one of the things I was reading was to keep the PG rating was the dad had to make up real gibberish, because just tried to say random things. He said that he was still going to say actual swear words. And then even the swearing or whatever that Ralphie was doing when he was having the fight was all word for word script that he had to remember.
Right.
So they treaded that line of the son of a bitches. He said that a couple of times, and then damn and stuff like that. But you're right. There was no editing. That's why I'm saying the movie is still flawless, even on TV.
Yeah.
you aren't missing any plot, any dialogue, anything like that.
No,
And that's what's great.
I think that what's really impressive too, and we kind of talked about this last night when the movie was over, was that the fact that it takes place in the 1940s and
Right.
it was released in 1983. You know, so it's like, okay, like, you know, like
This movie is technically, what did we say? It's taken place 80 years ago.
right. Yeah. So, and I think that what's cool about it is that it truly is a period piece. Like it's, you know, the fact that it's like old tech of like, you know, like even like when they're sitting in front of the radio,
Yes.
you know, to listen to, you know, Little Orphan Annie. And it's like, oh my God, like, cause I think you said it where you were like, dude, like, could you imagine if that's what entertainment was today, where it's like you were just enamored with a radio that all you could do was hear everything.
You had to
know?
imagine. You had to imagine what was going on. You didn't have any type of screen or internet or Google or anything like that. Kids wouldn't blow their brain right out of the front of their skull. They'd be so fucking bored.
Yeah, man. I think that it's a movie that it stands the test of time with a lot of things, just because like, you know, there's no real like crazy visual effects that happen in it. There's no like, I don't know, like because even like the sparks from like the BB gun when he's shooting the dudes in the asses, like, you know, it's like, that's just, that's probably like a squib or like was something that they used. Like for the most part, it seems like everything was practical in the film.
Agreed.
And it's, you know, it's one of those, like, it's not like Evil Dead where it's gore, but it's like, no, like it's grounded. It feels like a very grounded, real film, and it's hysterical. It is like, it's probably one of the funniest Christmas movies I think that's out there.
Actually, you saying about stuff being practical, I was paying attention last night to the opening scene, and I was like, dude, look at that street. Look at that. That is real snow. That is up there, right? Like 15, 20 minutes away, not even from Meg. Excuse me. And she's right in the snow belt, man.
Yeah.
Right there. It is fucking awful.
Yeah.
And I looked at that and I'm like, could you imagine? Like they are filming in this weather.
Oh God. Yeah.
In Ohio weather, man. We know what that's like.
It's officially hit us like what, a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And it's doing exactly what it is, which is that it's miserable. It's just
Fucking
horrible.
hate it.
Yeah, because it's never just 30 degrees. It's 22. It's 15 or whatever.
With the wind chill, it's -5.
Yeah.
And here's some slush and sleet. Merry Christmas, motherfucker.
There was actually a point when I was filming with some friends that we had to be outside. And this is what's interesting about weather here in Ohio, was that we checked the weather app, and essentially what it said was that the temperature was 15 degrees, but the wind chill was 20.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, so the wind makes it warmer? Like, dude, like how is that even possible?
Right.
And so
Because it's Ohio.
it's just, if you want an anomaly, a visit, and you'll experience it. So, but
no,
yeah,
it was just the fact that I paid attention to that, and I'm like, no, man, this movie, like you said, is all practical. That is probably dead in the winter that they filmed this.
Yeah.
That was legit 6 inches of snow that they plowed over, and is now like all that hard matted. You still can't even see the street.
Yeah.
And I hate that shit.
It's horrible.
They had to drive around in that and then film stuff. Mm-hmm. No.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah, it's the fact. I think that it's the fact that it's like there is just so much heart and soul that's poured into that movie. And
you can tell.
Yeah, and I think that what's interesting is that as a kid, I remember watching A Christmas Story and just being like just locked in, and because it's like the random moments of Ralphie like daydreaming and doing his thing, and like now characters are doing ridiculous things, and it's like like just giving major props to these actors in this film for them, like the teacher becomes the Wicked Witch of the West, and like his mom becomes a court jester at one point, and like it is completely on drugs in the best way possible.
For sure.
And it's so much fun.
Well,
and,
you're seeing it from a 8-year-old's point of view,
right? Yeah.
you're having this moment of this preteen like Christmas and friends and peer pressure and stuff for back in that time. And even though the times have changed and we didn't grow up in that era and whatever, but situations and things that were happening, not just around the Christmas part, but in Ralphie's life, everybody can relate to in some way.
Yeah.
So like I said, you're seeing it from that 8-year-old's perspective of the Merry Christmas, little boy. And like, like all these faces, like, and you're like, God damn, like, what is happening?
It's like your nose is very, very red.
Yeah. But that's where I think the movie really took a different point of view and perspective, because not only was that kind of, I guess you could say, one of the first things that they've ever done like that in the 80s. Like you didn't really get that kind of like a vibe or look as far as like, a kid, but it was all around Christmas and that perfect gift.
Yeah.
Oh, man, God. He wanted it so bad.
And dude, I think this is the thing that it ties into the ending, which the old man is something that we're going to end with. And that's very much going to, tie into A Christmas Story Christmas, because just very small thing is that I'm usually not into sequels that come out 40 years later. And almost, and it's like, oh my God. Okay. So like, this is just a cash grab. This is this. And it's like, no, like, the sequel makes the original just so much more special. And it's like, wow, like I didn't think that they could pull that off. But, but with The Gift is that it's crazy that it's what drives the entire movie.
It does.
And
you
just
almost
so
don't realize that that's what the whole movie is about.
Yeah.
A fucking BB gun, a Red Ryder BB gun with a compass and stock and this thing which tells time.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. But no. Yeah. When you, like I said, when you really look at that whole thing, it is about that one gift. It doesn't seem like it because you're getting all of these other things involved with it. But at the end of the day, you're right. It's about the one gift.
Yeah.
That special thing that boy wanted.
Yeah.
And how cool.
Yeah, I think to me, like it does nothing but just spark my, Christmas spirit. Like whenever I think about it, or like whenever I'm
that's one of the ones that like sparks your.
Oh, dude,
okay.
And I think that it's from, having it on in the house so much, but it's also from the music, because like the music itself was written for the movie. So it's not like, okay, like, this is Christmas music necessarily, like for the natural like score.
Sure.
But there's this very odd like quirkiness to it, like whenever the flutes are playing, so it's like and you're like, oh my gosh, like this is so interesting, like low just instruments that come in whenever Scott Fargus shows up, and it's like, to me, like I associate it with Christmas so much, even though it's not technically Christmas music, just because the movie itself, I think, is in a way like it's got like Christmas incarnate, just like completely just soaked in it, and it's just incredible. It's amazing.
I agree. Like I was literally, while you were talking, trying to think of a movie that puts you in the, I guess you could say, spirit, which I don't tend to get a lot of, but I think you're right, man. It is the Christmas Story, A Christmas Story, but maybe the Grinch. I mean, not to be ironic, but like I do enjoy the Jim Carrey Grinch and the original.
Yes, yeah, they're both classics.
And I'm pretty sure it's James Earl Jones. He's the one who sings Mr. Grinch.
You're a mean one.
Yeah. I didn't realize it for years, but then when you know it, you're like, that's it.
Yeah, but he is unmistakable. That is Darth Vader singing that.
That is Darth Vader singing that. But no, yeah, I think you're right. A Christmas Story, and I would say the Grinch, at least for me. While I'm trying to think of them, so maybe.
I would say Home Alone's definitely up there.
Yeah, I that just popped in my head too. So yeah, you're right. Home Alone. Okay, those are the three.
Because what I would say, it's mainly just because of John Williams and that score. Like he did something very interesting with that. Like,
I know that this is a Christmas Story podcast, but I'm telling you, Home Alone scores.
Yeah,
fire.
Yeah, the first two.
Yeah. First two.
The first two. The rest did not happen. I'm not gonna lie. I went to the theater and saw Home Alone 3.
Having like hopes like it was gonna,
I think it was one I saw with Dad where I was like, okay, this is gonna be amazing, and like, of course, I was a stupid kid, so it was great, but on the same hand, it's like, oh my God, like and then they tried to do one later where they recasted everybody, and hello Marv, it's like, it's just, it's so bad. So just let it die.
Let it be.
Let Macaulay Culkin be the only one that took down, two criminals,
Right.
But
anyway, so Red Ryder.
So but the Red Ryder BB gun is the main thing that pushes the entire thing. And of course, at the core of it is Ralphie. And I think that especially for just how they, obviously like for him, being older in the second one, how he kept that charm of, just the daydreaming and everything. And like, because it's like, that's what, like, because when you think about it, Ralphie would never really change. Like that's a part of his personality that I think that even when it's not, the desire to get, an amazing gift that you want for Christmas, it's still like if he's thinking about a girl, or something when he's older or whatever, like it's a very believable thing about his character. And it's just, I think that what's great about him is that he is just like, he has this mentality about him that he's just trying to like get through everything. And, until obviously he has the moment that he snaps and he no longer, is like willing to take any shit anymore. But in the same hand is that even when Flick is, stuck to the flagpole, I don't know, the bell rang. Like, let's just get inside. Like, so like, it's just, he's got this, like this brilliant innocence to him that I think that there's no better character in my opinion, in that movie to receive the gift that he did, because it's like, that's all he wanted, like he had like this wonderful innocence about him. And like, no matter what was going on, like it was kind of like the hilarity kind of surrounded him. And like, I mean, he did like maybe have some antics here and there or whatever, but like for the most part, it was just him kind of like, dude, I'm just trying to like get through all this, so like,
I'm trying to get my decoder pen. I'm trying to get my BB gun.
Like, I'll be right out.
I'll be right out, for crying out loud. Can a guy get some privacy?
It's just, oh my God. No, Ralphie is just, he is such a great character. And it really does make me want to read the script for it, because I want to know like
how it looked.
Yeah, it's like what was the actor, and then what was the original thought for Ralphie?
Sure.
And I'm like, I love to get deep with stuff like that in movies, because that stuff matters. Like it's like, especially when you're directing a kid, which can be a nightmare. And it's I've heard like different things from like either commentaries and stuff that all the kids on set, they would they could be troublemakers, and they would like be rowdy in the hotel rooms and stuff, like, and they would do their thing. So it's like, obviously like they had to wrangle all of them and be like, all right, get over here, act and do this thing. And and I will say like the acting is like, it's definitely old, but I gotta say, I don't really think that there's a weak point in that film of actors. I really don't.
I agree, because in the fact of when you have movies that are trying to like withstand the test of time. And that is definitely one of them, because it is something that is played for 24 hours every single year.
Yeah.
I was paying attention to that last night, and I agree. I was looking at all of these people that really, I don't want to say didn't act again, because Peter Billingsley does, but for the most part, a lot of these younger kids, they didn't jump up in a lot of other things.
Right.
So I feel like this was one of their only few big roles or something like that, but every single one of them nailed what they did. Now, I could be wrong, guys. I didn't look up everybody, but I think you get what I'm saying. But like in the fact of this one big main movie that everybody knows, you're right. There really wasn't a weak link. Yeah. Like it all stands up to the test of time, man. And it's loved by everybody for a reason.
Yeah. And honestly, I think that the other part of Ralphie too, and this is something that I think a lot of people maybe wouldn't think about, is the older version of himself narrating. Like that's it's just, dude, like I'm a sucker for a movie when the character is talking about it after the fact, where it's like, this is how we ended up here, and like, or like, it's that kind of like Deadpool mentality, but it also like Fight Club, it's like, it's movies like that where it's like the narrator is the main character. Like I've already made it out of this situation. I know how this ends, but it's like, I'm going to give you like certain moments. I'm going to say something like pulverized, like he knew that moment. He's, oh, that was a bad one.
And
it's just from the opening of that, where he has this almost like still childlike kind of demeanor, like my house, and like he's like, oh my God, I remember this, and it's so cool. And it's like, and it's really like, besides the BB gun, it's the other driving force of the movie is that he's telling the story. And that means a lot more when you watch A Christmas Story Christmas, because it's like, it makes sense as to why Ralphie is narrating the first one. And it's just
Right.
And while he still narrates the second one, and it's such a beautiful thing because I think the guy's name was Gene, the actor that did the narration.
I forget.
So-
I saw it last night too, but it's something like that.
Yeah, but he just did an incredible job, and it's like even his voice, like there's something about it that's just really comforting when I listen to it, and it's just like, oh my god, like A Christmas Story's on.
Oh, I was gonna
like,
say it's the like the vibe or like the like you said, the like nostalgia or whatever, like his voice kicks in at the beginning and you're like, oh, this is on.
Yeah.
And he comes in so much, not over the top, but he comes in so much in the movie that he is a major part of the movie, even though he's never seen.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
But because he's Ralphie. But yeah. But I've thought about that too, where it's like the narrator is a huge part of the movie. You just don't see him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy.
So moving on, Schwartz and Flick, like, dude, like you want to talk about the two friends that you would maybe want to have? Like
I had them as friends. What are you talking about?
Because it's just like the idea, because it's always the one up game of who can one up the other. And it's again, like how they follow that up in the sequel is incredible. Like those characters were handled very well. I love that Flick was the one that owned the bar. And he's just, like for them to, have a toast to the old man and things like that. But as a kid, it's just like you look at it like this guy's a screw up. Like it's like he's like he's constantly what was it? Because he sticks his tongue to the pole. And then when they get a hold of him later, he walks in with a black eye, and it's like okay, like so, like it's like what happened? Like it's like he just got the shit end of the stick no matter what.
Exactly.
So,
it's because he was got beaten up by Grover Dill and Scott Fargus.
Just oh my god, it's just to me like they're the two friends that like. I don't know, to me, it makes sense as to why they're there, because again, like all this hilarity is just surrounding Ralphie and, and especially Schwartz. That is the one scene when his mom is on the phone that legit scared the shit out of me. It was so odd. Like I even said it like last night where I was like, bro, I'm like, there's parts of me like I'm even scared like watching it now. Cause like, what? Just like the way she's
just fucking screaming in the background.
It just,
my baby didn't say that.
And it's because it's again, there's a part of me that does wonder why Ralphie didn't just sell out his dad, because do you think his mom doesn't know?
Exactly. That's what I was thinking too. It's like, what do you mean? She hears him say it too.
Because then there's that that's like the reality breaking thing where it's like, is it just for the audience that we get gibberish? So like
it is,
so
yeah, it is. Yeah. But in the fact that even Schwartz's mom was like, well, he probably heard it from his father.
And she has the gall to be like, no, he heard it from your son.
Yeah. So like, it's like, no, he didn't.
No, it's just, oh my God. Like there was something about that where I was like, that was the first time that I had actually gotten mad at Ralphie, where I was like, what the hell? Like, dude, he was probably like, Schwartz was probably just like, I don't know.
Chilling.
Like, he's like
listening to fucking Little Orphan Annie. Fucking chilling, and he got yoked up by his wool sweater and got his shit rocked. Like
it just holds him up like an angler fish.
Yeah, she fucking rocked him, dude, hard. I heard it. I've been that person. I know what that was.
How can you say that you didn't survive as a kid if you didn't get the shit kicked out of you at least a couple of times?
Mom killed me at least 4 times. At least 4. It's like no ifs, ands, or butt fucks.
No, it's just
what the fuck? Sorry.
Oh God, this is great. So like he has these friends, and again, like they don't play like the biggest part in the movie. It's mainly like when he goes to school, but in the same hand is that like it's not just Ralphie, but like I'm not past the butt fuck thing. Like even like how the movie starts out when they're just enamored with the glass window of just looking at
in there,
the train set and all the toys, and there's the Red Rider himself, and like Flick's got his nose against the glass, and he's trying to see everything, and it's just again, it's like they did such a great job of really making these kids feel like kids, instead of and like they didn't feel forced, they didn't feel like that there was any moment of like, oh, that's a weak link, or like, it's like, no, like, it's like everybody in this movie was a slam dunk.
Yeah. Like even the brother Randy, like, they played very well off of each other, even though they didn't like fight per se, like, brothers or something probably would have back then or something like that. But the way their dynamic, Randy had his little like whining spells, and then, Ralphie would be like, come on, let's go. Or like, wake up, like, come on, like, it's Christmas. Like, it gave that really cool, like, both dynamics were, they fought with each other, but it was also, he was worried that dad was going to kill him, and then he got his milk. And then, because he knew dad was strict. Mm-hmm. He knew that he would be upset that he, lost his glasses for a little bit or whatever it was, got in the fight, or was, swearing, all this stuff. And he was genuinely worried about his brother. Yeah. So he was hiding because he didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah. And I think that's what makes Randy really special, because it's like, I think we've all been there as kids, but like when you just need to hide away because you're so upset. Yeah. And, the fact that like, and again, like with the acting and everything too, is that with the mom, like, dude, like she was a straight up G. She was. And just, she knew how to handle situations. Besides the leg lamp. So like, which that's a whole different conversation, but like I thought you were going to go for it.
No, I wasn't.
No, but it's just like the fact that she was able to keep peace, and like, she just rolls over, that whole thing. But no, like he had a bit of a fight. And he's like, well, what do you mean? It's like, oh, you know how boys are. Oh, hey, I see that, the teams are playing. Yeah. It's like, cause she knew that would just keep his mind. Like, no, your mind doesn't need to be here. It's been taken care of.
It's already over.
Yeah. He learned his lesson. Like, it's like he came out of it upset. Like he wasn't like, get off of me or whatever. Like, cause that's one of the scenes in the movie that like, it does get to me, because it's like, we've all had that bully like somewhere in our life or whatever, where it's like when you're done with it and then you're just like emotionally spent. It's so good.
I actually often wondered, not in the fact of praising and being proud of his son because he beat somebody up, but I actually often wondered why it wasn't told what happened, because Ralphie wasn't in the wrong.
No, he was not.
He was not in the wrong. So the fact that he was worried, I think it was more so in the fact of like him swearing, I guess, was maybe the biggest thing. But in the fact of, I think the dad would have been proud in a sense, like you stood up for yourself and you won. Right. Like, that's a good thing. No, you shouldn't fight, but when it comes down to it, you might have to. And I don't know, like that, I've often wondered why it wasn't done the other way. I also understand that they probably weren't trying to like promote violence, and things like that. It's a Christmas movie, but nonetheless, it was in there and there was blood.
Yeah, right.
Like he whooped the shit out of him, dude.
The Scott Farkus incident, or the Scott Farkus affair. That's what it was. Yeah,
like he fucking rocked him, and I enjoyed it because, like you said, the bully got his, what was coming to him. Yeah. But I don't know, like I said, it's a kind of back and forth. I'm like, I wonder why they did it that way. But either way, still just interesting. Like you said, the mom was a G and the brother was still always by his side and worried about him, even though he picked on him. Yeah. But that's the thing is, that's his older brother. That's what you do. That's what happens. Yeah. But anyways.
Yeah. And I think that like, especially too, because what was it when we were watching it was that, you were talking about when like Christmas morning where it was like you thought that the dad wasn't into it. It's like, no, he was just hung over. Just hung over. I'm like,
they probably had a bunch of wine the night before. He got lucky a few times, was up late, and now it's fucking 6:15 in the morning, and these two little assholes are up going, fucking Santa came.
Right. He's like, oh God. Right. Because it's the realization when he comes down the steps and he's just, oh yeah. Because I mean, I don't think I've had any Christmas mornings like that, but I could imagine being in that situation where you're just like, oh God damn it. So like,
been there.
Yeah. Right.
Been there.
But it's like with the mom too, like it's cool to be able to see, the relationship between the two of them, because, it's like that, like they have this fluid marriage where it's like when he's like, what is the name of, the Lone Ranger's son's horse, or no, nephew's horse?
Victor.
Yeah, Victor. He's like, what? How do you know that?
Everybody knows that.
It's just like he doesn't get offended by it or anything. Like there was never like for like being a period piece in the 40s. you know, it could have been more drastic with what home life could have been like. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, because they did keep up with the times with it, you know, where it was like, you know, mom never really got a hot meal, you know,
I
or
was
anything
just
like that.
Yeah,
you know?
I was
So,
just about to say they didn't do the whole like it's a woman's job to, but it was she was the stay-at-home mom. This is what she mommed. That's what she did, and that was unfortunately what a lot of women did and what they were expected to do back then.
Yeah.
And the fact that they peppered it in there, I think just enough to give you that like insight of what it was like.
Yeah.
She was exhausted. Let's put it that way. But at the end of the day, she enjoyed what she did,
Absolutely.
you know, and the fact of two or three different times she went to go take a bite. It was, can I have some more? And it's like, get the fuck up and get it yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
Right. Yeah.
but that's how it was.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It's just that's how it was. And they kept it in there. And
Yeah.
you're right that she just powered through because she wore let's be clear, she wore the fucking pants.
Yeah.
He might have sworn and fixed the cars and fixed the fucking boiler and all this stuff, but she wore the pants. Everything went according to plan because she allowed it.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
that's why.
especially too, like even like when the tire blows and she's like, why don't you go help your dad?
Yes.
And because that was the one thing that really caught me, like, I wouldn't say off guard, like in a bad way, but it was when Ralphie goes out, you know, to the dad and he's like, mom said I should help. And he's like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. You know, it's in, you know, like
it wasn't him being like, oh, okay.
right. You know, because I mean, that's the equivalent of like we've all held a light for our dad and been yelled
Fucking
at.
doing it wrong.
It's like, point, no, over here, you know, but like, it's just because like there was a slight moment of that when he had him hold the hubcap. You know, but then he was like, okay, like, you know, no, like flip it this way or do this. And he's like, okay, I got it now. And I thought that it was really interesting in that scene that the reason that the bullets fly is not because of Ralphie.
Correct.
It was literally hit the dad like nailing the hubcap and they all went flying, which by the way, could you imagine? Dude,
Fucking irate.
now it's in snow. I can't
I
find it.
can't see dick. We're not driving anywhere. A tow truck is $10. I mean, I'm just trying to keep up with inflation then. Yeah.
Oh, fuck. It's $10.
Nobody's getting Christmas.
Oh, God. I had 30 saved for the entire thing.
The turkey's $1.80. Gas is 18 cents. Fucking bullshit.
Oh, God. No, but just it like because that entire like scene, too, like just like the oh fudge moment, like it's just like because it's this brilliant thing of like his dad isn't angry. He's like just like completely mortified that his child in the 1940s just said fuck. Oh, fuck.
Oh, fudge. Like he enunciated that shit.
There was a very hard K at the end of that.
Oh, you know, it was fuck.
Oh, God. Oh,
We know what kind of fuck that was. We've done it 100 times this week.
oh God. It's a very consistent thing. No, but it's just, oh my God. And the, like how that leads into the sword situation, but like, it's incredible. And I love that Randy like tries to peek up behind him. He's like, Randy, like, and when he sits back and then he
wants to
comes,
hear.
and he comes right back up and she's squealing, oh, Ralphie, you know, it's just, oh my God. It just, oh man. No, it's the dynamic of that family is incredible. Like it's because like when they're singing Jingle Bells and like, you know, they all like blow raspberries at the same time.
The dad, he's just sitting, he's like, oh, just get home. And then it's like, Dad, come it, blah.
Been listening to this shit all day. You know,
Yeah,
so-
this fucking tire blows. Like, of course.
Man. No, it's just, oh my God. I think that we definitely need to talk about the dad. So like go in like full detail. And this is the part that is actually really special to me because there was a time that when I was involved with video ministry at a church was that we actually did different intros for like the series that we did leading up to Christmas. It was called Fragile. And we actually animated what it was that we had a because we used like, you know, the like big LED screens or whatever for like, you know, like for praise and worship and then like slides and things like that. But we actually designed it to make it look like it was a big TV set with like the old like crappy footage, you know. And so you would it would play a scene from the movie, and what we did was that for it to like, you know, to transition to like the logo was that I actually animated a Fragile box that I found online and had it like Smackdown Snow came up, and then it would, you know, be the title of the lesson. But reason I bring it up is that the last part of the series that we did, we had the scene when Ralphie finds the gun.
Oh, okay.
And it was this idea that, you know, like you go into the symbolism of like what, you know, of like, you know, what Christmas is about, of like, no, it's the gift to mankind. It's this, it's that. But it was just, dude, like there is something like it's what stuck with me. And I think it was what my buddy JP said was that he's like, look how just happy the dad is. And just like how he is just enthralled in this moment. He has, I don't know when he bought this thing. I don't know like when it all happened, but you, like we said it last night, where it's like, you know, for a fact that the mom and the dad had a conversation and it was, your son wants a Red Ryder BB gun, you know, and it's like, and for him to say that he had it when he was younger, it's like, dude, like it was already bought probably like the next day.
Yes.
You know, it's just so good.
That is something that I never realized until I was an adult and like had my own kids and stuff, where you're right. All of the presents had been open. And when he was just like, you know, one of those like, hey, what is that? Like you can't see shit. Like you can't see, but it's like, what is that beside the desk? It's like, well, I don't know. That tells me he went out with his money that he, you know, after he got off of work one day. I didn't mean like that guy's his money, but like, but like he took his money and he went without his wife, bought this Red Ryder BB gun without anybody knowing. That it was a surprise for everybody.
Yeah.
He wanted to go do that because one, he had one when he was a kid, and then he knew that his son wanted one. I think that shows more in the fact of, I know a lot of families back then and the times and stuff that you see on TV or that you even hear, like, you know, dads were the strict one, didn't talk much, didn't pay attention and all this stuff. But it really showed that he paid attention to his kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, he swore a lot and he did his crosswords and he did this and he hated the neighbor's dogs and
the Bumpuses.
But at the end of the day, the man really did care for his family.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it, as stupid as it sounds, a gift, but Ralphie's eyes and how he was so enamored, and it was like, I got it. Oh my God, I got it. I'm one of the 4 kids that got this.
Yeah.
And it just, I don't know, man. There was something about that the fact that I had to be a dad to understand what that dad did on his own one day after work, just coming home and then had to keep it a secret, even from his wife.
And isn't it interesting that not only is it hidden, it was bought, but it was wrapped.
It was wrapped in the super nice paper, man.
Yeah.
Like it was like the golden gift. It was the Santa gift. You know, it was that's one thing that if there's any kids in here right now, leave.
Any children in earshot?
Okay.
Get out of here. Okay.
But that's what I try and do, guys, is every year I try to get like from Santa, it's like gold wrapping paper or it's this and that. Like, for the most part, I try to stick to the fact that Santa brings one gift. And I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, because, you know, there are families out there that, you know, Santa crash lands and then kids wonder why, you know, Santa didn't bring them as many.
Right.
So I try to instill that where it's like Santa brings you one gift. The rest are from mom and dad. Like we had to work to pay for these things.
Right.
So anyways, what I'm saying is that but it has that special wrapping paper. It was all decked out in that shiny red with the I believe the gold bow and all that stuff. Like
it was just a big ass bow too. Like it was like he had to like peel it off the top.
I'm sure the store did it for him.
Sure. Yeah. It's just.
But he paid extra.
Right. Yeah.
But he paid extra.
Yeah.
And it's just, it was because it was the special gift, and his dad did that. And I think this is going to lead into the second movie as well that you wanted to talk about. But yeah,
this is what truly made me fall in love with the sequel, is that number one, everybody that is in the movie, you know, it's for the most part, except for people that had passed away, everybody comes back. Everybody is back in this. Even Scott Farkus is back, you know,
Yes.
and he's a cop. Like it's and he's
The
a damn
irony,
good cop.
yeah, right, and understanding because the whole thing, like he understood like what was going on, and you know when they were kids, and he like helped out Ralphie and all this stuff. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool.
And it's to me, I think that the hard part about the sequel is that obviously the actor did pass away that played the dad.
I'm pretty sure the mom too, because it's not the same mom. It's the mom
Yeah.
from Just Friends and all that. Yeah,
Which I will say she did a great job. She did like if I could believe on like what she would look like when she was older.
Correct.
Well, not look like, but more so how she would behave and everything. That she nailed it. She did such a great job.
it's a difference between her and then the Just Friends version.
Yeah, right. Be yourself. And so, but like, it's
Oh, honey, you were never terribly good at that. Well, I'm good now. Like,
it's just I think that what was interesting was that, you know, like when you don't know anything about the movie and you go into it and you're like, oh, like Ralphie's going home for Christmas. Okay, like, you know, the hilarity is going to, you know, ensue here. There's going to be something crazy, or like maybe there's a recital that some kids go to and for some reason he has to go, and like maybe it falls apart, or like I don't know, like it's just my mind was really racking on like what they were going to do.
Yeah.
And the fact that the movie opens with, no, your dad passed away.
bro, like
It's-
almost
dude,
right away. I
it was-
feel like because
yeah.
we've only ever seen it once, but I
Yeah.
feel like it was like almost immediately
Yeah. And it's the fact that, number one, not only does it
set the tone.
sets a tone for the movie, but it also gives a grim reality of the fact that, like, no, he's no longer with us.
Yeah.
And the fact that the movie can still exist without him is, I think, is the beauty of it, because it's the fact that it didn't exist without him. Everything revolved around him. And it was just like I kind of talked about it before, but like with Flick, when he pours the drink and he was like, hey, man, to your dad, he was the best.
He was the best.
And it's it's just like, it gets me emotional.
See,
man.
again,
Like, it's
he wasn't an asshole.
No,
That's
no.
the thing, is that when you're a kid, you think like for some reason, like you think he's kind of mean. He's not.
No.
He fucking hates work. He's trying to make ends meet, and because he, trying to provide for his family.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, because like going back to that whole, like, I thought he didn't like Christmas at the beginning because, he's just hungover. No,
Yeah.
he's just hungover.
Yeah.
He likes seeing his kids open up the stuff and having a good day. But
Yeah.
that is really interesting that, when they did that and they poured the drink, where it's like, he was a great man, basically. It's like, you know what? Yeah, he was.
Yeah, because I
He
think
really was.
I think that was a duality of things in that moment, where it was, no, man, it was like to the character, but also to the actor.
For sure.
And it's because there's been certain shows and stuff when people have passed away and they've done homages or they've done different things like that. And it's, I think that for the most part, the things that I have seen have been very good. But this was just, I think that there's a lot of biasness that I have with it, because, growing up with it and watching it as much as we have and everything, that it is something that we've held very close to our hearts. But
For sure.
in the same hand is that for a sequel to come out that long after the fact, everybody's on board and wants to do it. And the execution of this film and the way that it's like, through the stress of them trying to get the gifts and then the gifts get stolen. And you're like, oh my God, Christmas is ruined. Like, what are we gonna do? And then he has his Ralphie has his interaction with Scott Fargus, and it's like, he felt like as if this night could not get any worse.
What was it? The fucking star for the top of the tree?
Yeah, right.
Wasn't it?
Yeah. He's like, if we have nothing else, the star will make everything better. And it's just like, because again, like the sequel is just so soaked in Christmas and everything, like with how they're doing all of it, and the charm of Ralphie is still there, of like, even his like little the way like he laughs and things. But the moment that I knew, actually no, it was two moments that I knew that this was just like one of the coolest experiences to have, like with a continuation with this, was number one is when they wake up on Christmas morning and there are presents. And you're thinking, well, what happened? Did Santa show up? Like, what's going on here? And the way that the mom, she's like, I can't remember if it was like her being like, I forgot to check this, one area of the attic or something.
Yeah, it was something like that. Because I remember being like, well, how the hell did this happen?
Yeah.
So guys, again, we've only seen it once, but it was something like the attic or whatever.
And so it's like they get all the presents, and it's like he
knew.
He knew. He had already taken care of Christmas before his son and his extended family showed up.
Something
Like,
about, I
it's just-
swear she said something about like, oh, he ordered this like 6 months ago, or, put this on. Like, it was something along those lines. I swear. But yeah, he had bought them previous just to have it done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's what they wanted.
Yeah. And
it was, well, grandpa and dad's going to take care of it. Like, that's just what we do.
And I think that this is what's brilliant about it, is the fact that the first one, the climax of the film, is the fact that it was a gift he hid that no one else knew about. And the sequel, it makes it more intense because the entire family was taken care of.
Correct.
And it
wasn't just the one.
Yes, it's like it has like borderline, I would say, like it's Terminator 2 kind of like, formula, where it's like, no, it literally did everything better than the previous film, and it did it bigger and it did it more intense. And it's just,
he was Santa Claus.
Yeah, it's like he
was,
even beyond the grave. He took care of everything. And the fact that, man, like, I'm gonna try to get through this without crying, but when Ralphie was, because his main thing is that he's trying to write, and like he wants to be a great writer. And
that's
like,
right.
And he's getting rejected.
The story is my old man.
Yes, is that?
Oh yeah.
He writes it all out and sends it off to the paper. And when he goes outside for whatever reason, they're like, "No, Ralph, like great story, man." Like, yeah, and
he's like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, and he's like, "What? Like what? You read like one of my old ones or something?" And
didn't the wife submit it?
Yes, I think she did. Yeah.
Or the mom or the wife, one of the two.
Yeah, because just the fact that he looks at the front page and he's realizing that, in his mind, like, I mean, as a creative person, I mean, like we're, but creative people, like, it's like, dude, like we're so self-critical.
Oh, of course.
And could you imagine pouring your heart out into something that you think that nobody is ever going to see, and now it's front page news? That's got to be probably a really daunting moment for Ralphie. But the thing is that what he thought wasn't good enough, people were praising him for. Like, dude, like this, this was incredible. Like, I never knew this about your dad, or like, oh my, like, or like, because like you got to think about it, like, it was condensed on like how everything went on. Like Ralphie experienced that. I'm sure maybe he talked about it, but to be able to like have it in just such explicit detail, and for the family to look at him and say, read us your story. There was a part of me that when that happened in the film, I'm like, the movie's almost over. Like we for pacing and everything. I'm like, like, oh my God, like, are we going to get like this and this? I'm like, how are they going to handle this? And he picks up the newspaper and walks over to his dad's chair
and sits down.
He looks at it and has this moment of, I'm the old man now.
And then isn't it ironic that that's where his dad would read the paper?
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that.
When the dogs came through and everything, like, God. That's right. Exactly. Like he truly did. Yeah, exactly. Like that's, I just thought of that too.
That just,
I literally just thought of that too.
It just hit me like, oh my God. Just for him to open it up, he starts to read it. And you're like, okay, wow. Like he's giving a recollection of the night or that Christmas. And the fact that they morph his voice into the original, the Red Ryder BB gun, and you can see them running in the first frames of the movie. And it's like,
it kicks in,
dude. It's what I love about that they did with this was that the movies are circular.
I was gonna say it's a never ending cycle. It's almost like it's like an infinity loop, like where they all run into each other.
Yeah, there is literally no wrong way to watch either one.
Right.
And that's what makes it so incredible.
Oh God, I never thought of that.
Yeah, because either you can learn about what happened, or you can watch the new one and then you can find out what happened. It's just, yeah. It's like you said, a complete circle. It's wild.
It's a better Star Wars.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We've made every Star Wars fan angry. So
I didn't mean that. I was just being funny, but
anything's better than the new trilogies. I'll fight tooth and nail about the originals, and the prequels I can forgive because of the new trilogy. So, no.
So let's end on that.
Yeah, no, but no. It's just It's an experience that, like, again, like, we've been nothing but saturated in this every single, holiday season. And the fact that we got to see a continuation that I think that is 110% necessary and just made the original just so much more special. Like it's, you know, because like you can tell the people that made the sequel were just they were just so full of love for these characters.
Oh, yeah.
That, you know, it's again, like I don't, you know, I don't have any hate on anything that they really did with it. Like maybe I could look at it from a technical standpoint and maybe not like how they lit a scene, or like maybe I would have like cut pacing here for this scene or something like that. But like I really don't, like nothing comes, like I would have to like nitpick it to really have an issue with it. Because it's because even with the new characters that we get in it too, with the guy that, you know, that he loves casserole, you know, and he finishes everything, where it's like he became a very welcoming, funny new part of like hilarity for the characters, you know, where it's like, okay, like, you know, this guy's now a part of this, and like, okay, like
we got to finish all this first before we can do that.
Yeah. How do you feel about casserole? I love it.
Yeah.
So it's just, and the fact that I was a little disappointed that Randy didn't get more of a part in it. Because like he kind of like shows up at the end and like he's like, you know, here and there. But I think it also kind of makes sense for his character too, where it's like, no, like he's off doing his thing and like he's successful and like, you know, but
they did throw that cliche in there, which was great. But I also wonder if they had to, like, maybe the actor like couldn't do it.
Sure. Yeah.
Like it could have been like actual just like interference with like the schedule. But at the same time, it did fit.
Yeah.
It fit.
Because it's even like even through all of that is that it's like, no, he still showed up for Christmas morning. You know, right. You know, he wanted to spend time with his family, and like it's just, you know, like from like there's so much about just the sequel, the original. Like this is such a special thing, and I know that it's probably been very odd to see two grown men geek out about, you know, a Christmas movie for, you know, like however long this podcast will end up being. But in the same hand is that I genuinely hope that if anybody that has not seen the sequel definitely sees it, and you get to enjoy the circular nature of both, because it is just it's incredible. Yeah. It's something that I think that more people should definitely pay attention to. I mean, I know there's people out there that don't like A Christmas Story, but you know, it's okay to be wrong. But you know, you know, but in the same hand, it's like
facts.
No, you know, but in the same hand, it's like this is something that is just like, to me, it's not Christmas without it. As much as it's like, you know, like it's not Christmas unless if I watch Hans Gruber fall to his death.
Absolutely. We'll be doing that tomorrow.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's just, you know, Chinese food and everything. Yep. That's our staple thing every year. We take a night, we do nothing but
right around Christmas. Yeah. We can't do it on Christmas Eve this year, so we're going to do it on Thursday. Yep. Yeah. After we record for Riker Road, of course, guys.
Yes. No, content is still coming.
Absolutely.
Don't you worry. But yeah. Nevertheless, though, this has been a fun conversation. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I know it was kind of all over the place, but this is what like talking movies is like for us. Is that you guys got kind of like a little window, I guess you could just say, like some kitchen talk or whatever. Whenever we get into like, you know, some movie stuff.
It kind of was almost like having a kitchen talk.
Yeah,
it essentially was, because it was like having that like, oh, let's talk about this, and then we just dive into it, and then we ruin it and not have a show because we do kitchen talk. But like this is kind of like what kitchen talk is, guys, essentially. So yeah,
man. Well, nevertheless, though, hope you guys have enjoyed it. We will see you next week. It'll not be a holiday themed video,
no,
but we're gonna get back into the swing of things, and we're really excited for the future things. So, Eric, is there anything you would like to tell them before we sign off for the night?
Go shoot your eye out, kid.
Ho, 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 ho. We'll see you guys later.